Welcome everybody. We back again with another episode of Renovated Thinking.
Hey,
We over here. There's Ray and Jade, and there's Dion, man. And we back again with another episode. Back again. So, this is going to be another great topic. Another one that I really looked forward to. Since the get-go. I've been waiting to get to this one. You know what I'm saying? First couple episodes, everything has been good. It's been nothing but good topics, but I just been wanting to build momentum and, start to hit harder, as we go more into the season. So, first of all, how are y'all doing on this good Sunday?
Exactly what you said. It's a good Sunday.
It's good Sunday. It's good.
I'm doing well, productive, getting some things started, planning some things out. So
That's what's up.
Putting a lot of things out.
I'm trying.
She looked at you like she knows something. But okay, so yeah, man. I'm good. It's a good Sunday for me as well, man. I'm blessed. We good. There are some things happening that I'm not gonna speak on yet with anybody, but when it happens, it'll happen and people will know. But yeah, things are looking real up to par right now, man. So yeah, I'm blessed. So I do want to I didn't tell y'all that I was gonna bring this up. There was a court, we all was rooting for Breonna Taylor for how long? It's been 6 months.
It's been a minute. I don't really recall the exact date it started.
Yeah. Don't mark my words. Yeah. We've been
Kinda like
dealing
beginning
with that
of
for a
Corona,
while. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, that's a unfortunate outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was so crazy to me because I saw something on Instagram. I don't know if it's accurate, but the day that that court case, was over and they basically let her murderers get away, was the 65th anniversary of that same thing happening to Emmett Till. When I saw that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It shows that history repeats itself. And it's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? And, before we even get in the topic, in my personal opinion, I've always felt like what I feel like I want to make a difference in, I want to make a difference in what everybody wants to make a difference in. But for me, I wanted to do it on an economic standpoint, and being able to build and to, build within our community, build within our people, with our people, and, first to put myself in power and then to put to put our other people, our other kings and queens in power. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's one of the most effective ways of balancing the scales. Because as great as we are, as creative as we are, when we understand the impact that we can make on the economy, the impact we already make in the economy. We already make a high impact in this economy. But when we understand the other places we could take it, and I feel like in this year, 2020, we really have, because I've seen a lot of our people, our young people, you know what I'm saying, opening businesses and doing things on your own. I've been seeing it, like, in my opinion, at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? And
social media.
Yeah, it's because social media. But the thing is that when it comes to young people choosing to not go down that traditional route all the time, or not doing it the way that the world designed for you to do it, and to just do something a little different, do what you love to do, and to put it out there and for it to manifest, I've been seeing it, a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really proud of that. And I feel like as long as we continue to take economic stand and to continue to improve, they will, we will have people trying to bring that down and to stop it, as we always have. But as long as we continue to strive and continue to push our culture, you know what I'm saying, in an economic standpoint, I feel like we're going to get to a place where there's no choice. There will be no choice. There will be no choice. You know what I'm saying? There's not a gap for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see it that way. So, that's how I want to make that impact. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on that. So we're going to get started with this episode. The topic today is get up and hit back.
Yes, sir.
Get up and hit back. You know what I'm saying? We always been taught to get up and hit back in different facets, in smaller facets, some way, shape, or form. You've heard it before. You know what I'm saying? To not always take the beating. To rise to the occasion at times. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, as we usually do, we want to get into our like own personal experiences and stuff like that, and really dive deep into what we want to give the people as far as, advice and everything like that, to give whatever we have. You know what I'm saying? And if there's anything you ever want to give us, you can also put that in the comment section. Let us know. Because yeah, for real. Because we here to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So yeah. So I'll start off. Getting up from something means that you fail. You're not gonna get up unless you fail.
In some kind of way.
Basically.
And when I say fail, I don't mean FAIL. I just mean FELL. You fail. Now you got to get up. How you fail? To fail, FAIL, is one of the ways to fall.
Amen.
Right. There is failure. There is annihilation. There is disappointment. There is downfall. There is grief. Those are categories that come to my mind when I think about falling. And that falling impacts us in different ways, different people, different situations, unique situations, and unique people, and everybody reacts to it differently. You know what I'm saying? So, first I really want to just dive into just dealing with grief and annihilation, and disappointment, and failure in something. We can touch on annihilation first, because that's something that we don't really do often. Annihilation, and when I say that, I really mean dealing with a situation where you do fall, or something simple as you say you're going to do something and then it doesn't work out in your favor, or you wanted to prove something and you had a whole bunch of people watching, and things just didn't work out, and now you feel annihilated. You feel embarrassed about yourself. Been through that before? About you guys?
Well, I've been through a situation where we had a step show, and basically at the very end of the step show, like we basically did this like a trick. It was like a trick type thing where we'll dip or whatever. Like we'll like 1-2 dip, and we'll swing. Usually they swing machetes.
Mm-hmm.
However, we chose to use shovels. And when you step in, a lot of times your adrenaline is rushing, you going fast, so things are going faster. And the last part, I forgot to duck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I ducked, but by the time I ducked, it wasn't in time, and I got hit in the face with a shovel.
On stage.
On stage, in front of like It was at least like 5 to 7,000 people there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. People who put on YouTube, it was on YouTube. Yeah. But it's fine because at the end of the day, guess what happened afterwards? Because we did that was the one flaw. And technically, if one of our teammates didn't show that we messed up, they wouldn't even know it was a mess up. So after that, everybody was like, "Oh, they doing good," and then boing, it's like, yeah, you hear me get hit in the face with the shovel, and I was good, like, cause I tried to duck and he hit me, and then my brother who hit me was like, "Oh," he like looked away and like he was about to cry, and I was like, "Yo, tighten up, we good, like I'm good, let's finish up," and then we had to throw up the black, that was in the black power, and I threw the black power, you see the blood running down my face. And everybody, and then we strode off the stage. I'm like, okay, cool. And they were like, oh, what happened? Like this random lady came and started putting stuff on my face. It was crazy. It was crazy. But after that, we got so many offers from different shows that we had to turn down shows. Like I'm dead serious. Imagine you getting like so many shows. Like we like, yo, like they want us to come over here. They want us to perform over here. Like I'm talking about out of state. We like, yo, but we still college students. Like. We still gotta do our work, so we had to turn down a lot of shows. But from that being said, like even though we failed that one moment because we didn't even place in the step show, but after that, everything went uphill. Everything went uphill as far as publicity. Like everybody started talking about the chapter. Everybody started inviting us to things. After we was on AGP, Atlanta Greek Picnic was the biggest Greek picnic in the country. Yeah. So we even performed over there, especially coming from Shaw, which is one of the smallest HBCUs in the South. Like going against city teams. We went against the DMV Sigmas. That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia against one school. You feel what I'm saying? So we was holding our own. We did our thing. So at the end of the day, we failed. Yeah. But then we got back up, hit back with even more shows, even better stuff, putting out more things. You know, everything for a reason. You know, don't take failure as a failure because sometimes that in the midst of that failure. Right. Something else blossom, you know, some other opportunity open, so other door open for you, you know. So just take that L with grace. That's the main thing, to take the L with grace. Because when people see you take the L with grace, they see your character within that L. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, and that's actually to continue with that, I believe in that. Being instead of avoiding or ignoring what happened, you're taking the time to realize, this definitely happened. I might have been embarrassed, but look what happened after. You know, you have to be able to acknowledge what has hit you, what has happened, because if you don't, how do you move on? Right. How do you continue? Because if you just avoid everything that comes and knocks you down, I don't see a way for you to progress.
That's real. Yeah. I feel like that's one of the keys there is to identify what made you fall. Right. Like an example, what caused me to get hit? I felt like we should have practiced more. Before that last practice, when we was practicing that move, I told my brothers, yo, I feel like we should practice that move more because I don't really feel comfortable with it. They were like, no, we good. I'm like, bro, like, nah, like, and they kept saying they good. And at the end of the day, it's a team thing. I can't practice it on my own for the most part. Right. We got to do it together and get a feel together. So after that was done, they admitted, we should listen to you because you said that we should practice more and we didn't listen, and now we had to take that.
So question for you, in that situation, because I know you said that when it happened, y'all continued and you continued, and you know you were fine. Did you feel annihilated or embarrassed by the situation right after? Because I know things went uphill.
When we didn't place, I felt annihilated because we put in so much work, you know, for that event, and we practiced so much for that. You know, even though I felt like we could have practiced more and we could have taken it more serious personally, I felt like we could have done a little bit more because that's what separated good from the great. Putting forth that maximum effort.
Right.
But like it was, we learned from it, and that's all we can do.
You took a shovel to the head just to lose. Is probably how you felt.
But you feel me? Like really, and to be honest with you, there's more to it than that because it was multiple step shows that we've placed in, and we felt like we should have placed higher in multiple competitions. But at the end of the day, you can't really let that deter you, because but it feels like being a part of the fraternity I'm a part of, that we have to do things like that in order to place. Like big, wild, crazy things like that.
Okay. So basically what I take from that, just being able, taking the shovel to the head, losing multiple times. Did you ever feel like you wanted to?
We eventually won though, because that's one thing that we talk about.
Great.
Eventually won.
Yeah, because that's what we talk about as a chapter. We had to take like a year or two worth of L's in order to receive a victory.
And
like,
it's like
we got
that.
like second place here. Like our first step show, we got second place. We felt like we should have. Our steps were first place steps, but according to the judges, our outfits were not up to par, and we were like, well, we thought it was a step show. So they were like, in their defense, you got to think about a step show as a complete package. It's not just the steps. It's the show you put on. It's the introduction. It's how it flows. Because you can have better steps, but if it doesn't flow, as a show, So I kind of understood where they came from with that. Plus, we could have, but we was young. We didn't have a lot of alumni help at that time, so we had to really dig out our own pockets. And being college students, we didn't have those funds like that.
Okay.
So we had to, do what we can. So we did the best we could with it. And we took it. Like I said, we had to take that L gracefully and promise that we're going to try our best to invest more into our outfits next time. And that's what we did. And that next show, that when I got hit with a shovel, we went to the Army surplus and bought some military things and, got as far as for our theme and stuff like that. We started wanting to invest more into it. So now it wasn't that. It was more on our ethics and how much our work ethic as far as how much we put in. So then we learned from that, and then from there we competed at our school, won first place. Then we competed at GHO, even though we got second place. That's still for the side. That first of all, the people who win that step show won like 15 years straight. Let's just get that straight. But and shout out to them, they do their thing. But we held our own as well, and we got second place, which is still good for GHO, which is the greatest homecoming on earth, which is one of the biggest homecomings for HBCUs in America.
Yeah.
So it was dope. We've done a lot.
Y'all lost to win. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly, in my opinion, I feel like winning feels so much sweeter when you done been through the grain for it. Because I know y'all felt good.
I agree, man. I feel like you see that within the people, like within certain winners, when they took L's first versus when they just straight kept winning, right. Never took an L. Because like I was talking about with falling, you never know how it feels to fall when you finally do fall, because eventually you may fall.
Yeah.
You don't know how to react to it, So I
might
felt like
be a little more intense.
Right. So I felt like we learned how to fail. Like we learned how to feel to fail, not want to fail.
Right.
How to fix the fail, so hopefully it wouldn't happen again. Because things happen. Because sometimes you'll even calculate your fall, right? You'll calculate the situation, right, to try to make sure it doesn't happen again. Guess what? Life somehow will throw a monkey wrench in the situation, change up the calculations, and now you off by a couple feet.
What?
And guess what? You got to regroup again. But in life, that's what happens. In life, things change. Life, things shift. You just got to be prepared for the shift.
You got to be prepared for the shift because you don't know what tomorrow gonna look like. The most crazy things, drastic things, life-changing things, in a good way and a bad way, sometimes can just happen. You know what I'm saying? that's the funny thing to me about life. Um, because first of all, tomorrow isn't promised to you to begin with.
Right.
And then when you think of tomorrow, if you get there, when you get there, you don't know what's really you don't really know what's of tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Until you get there. And that's the crazy thing about life period. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a sense of taking, and if anything, use it to your advantage. If anything. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that you have to walk away from, then you walk away from it. If it's something that you have to use to drive you to be like, okay, I need to come at this. It's something different to move away from something that's stopping you, or to run through something that's stopping you, or to just, let it be and let it deter you and let it eat at you every day. There's a difference. So I encourage people to want to go through. Not even always move around. You know what I'm saying? Because if you plan to move around, you're going to wait for the perfect time. I always hear people say that. The perfect time. There is no such thing as a perfect time for anything.
Right.
That's real.
Ever.
Mm.
Ever. There's never a perfect time. And I always hear people say that, hey, I want to do this. I want to start this. Start it. No, I can't. Why? Why not? Because I got okay, if you got this going on, and no problem. If you got something going on that's very time consuming and it's adding to you, and you just have to make sure that you're not in too many places at one time, that's one thing. But for you to say, oh, I got this, man, and I'm dealing with this, so I'm waiting for a time, right. It's not the good time. What do you mean it's not there's never a perfect time. If you hear the popular success stories, you're going to realize that a lot of people, they started something and they had a vision for something great in the midst of trouble, in the midst of problems with who they were around, problems with their overall environment, all types of things. And they said, you know what? I'm going to start this. I'm going to do this, and it's going to change my life forever. And no matter what they went through, they still worked towards it and worked towards it and worked towards it and worked towards it. And they got knocked down, and they came back up, knocked down, came back up, knocked down, came back up, did it 7 times, 8 times.
They ain't never give up.
Never gave up.
Exactly.
Even in times where they felt like they temporarily wanted to give up. They didn't give up. And then next thing you know, they're who you see them as today. Every story, it seems like that's what it is.
Right.
Every story. And that's what, because I'm a screenwriter, and even as a screenwriter, I was taught to write. If I'm writing around a character, that's one method that screenwriters learn how to write a story coming through a person, coming from a person, is to what do they want to achieve, what and who is stopping them, what roads they go through. This is stuff that you learn. Why do they have that format of writing? Because that's how life is. That's how life has been for people who come out on the other side. Right. It's never just this easy route. You know what I'm saying? No matter how successful your parents were or anything too. You know what I'm saying? If you really get to that place of creating your own and being your own, bringing something that's never been in your family before, trust me, it wasn't just this success story that, you just went up and that was it.
You can always make a plan, but doesn't mean that plan will go accordingly.
Right. Most of the time it don't go
Most of the time, yeah.
For real. You may not get the timing that you want.
Yeah.
You may not get exactly how you wanted it. You may not get it exactly how you wanted it. It may not be how you envisioned for it to be. But at the end of the day, when it comes to reaching a place of success, you're going to be knocked down because things aren't designed for you to just succeed. to just succeed
Right.
at a high level, at a level that your parents never got to, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, your grandparents, and all of them.
And then you gotta remember, the higher you are, the harder you fall. So you
Mm.
got some people, they do reach success and then they fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's another, a lot of situations, a lot of entertainers and a lot of people in the industry have experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Like example, Chris Brown is a good example of it. He went through his situation with Rihanna and all the other situations, whatever he had to deal with, and
Mm-hmm.
he's bounced back. Every time,
Right.
every time. So, even T-Pain was going through his financial situation, bounced back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bouncing back, trying to come back.
Mhm.
Orlando Brown, and recently, everybody's seen the situation she was going through, where whatever he was going through mentally or whatever, and now he is gone to the Lord and
Yeah.
trying to uplift himself in a positive way, and so we
Right.
support him on that. And hopefully, he now he's getting back up. He's right now in the process of training to fight
Right.
back.
Right.
That's what Orlando Brown doing right now. He's gotten up, and right now he's found the right trainers. He's found the right mental trainers and spiritual trainers to help him prepare to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Orlando Brown is doing right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
There will always be multiple factors, if not just one, that will kick you off whatever mountain you might be on.
Yeah. Because
And-
just remember that when you when you on top of the mountain, there's other people who want that spot. I always heard that saying, there's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
people reaching that mountaintop. But if one person out of those 100 people climbing that mountaintop, you get there, just know that there's other people that's ready to pull you down at some point, some extent. And when it comes to being the greatest at something, the best at something, the best at something, you will be that's the truth. With some things, you will be pulled down eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
Just time change.
Nobody's the
people
best
Mhm.
forever.
That's
Right.
one of my quotes. As time changes, people change and positions change.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, go by what Oprah Winfrey said. She said, it doesn't matter how far you might rise. At some point, you are bound to stumble.
Mm.
And I agree with that. I agree with that because when you get to a certain point and you feel as if you have everything. That's why I said what I said about, being on the highest mountain. Even when just like when people climb the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just use that as an example. When people climb the mountain, they finally get to the top. And you feel as if, okay, cool, I finally got up here, I reached my goal. But now it's time for you to get back down.
Right.
That's your next goal.
Mm-hmm.
And you might feel like you know exactly where to go, the steps to take, what not to do to slide down that mountain, but doesn't mean it'll go accordingly. It doesn't
Right.
mean that you're not going to make a mistake. Doesn't mean you're not going to take the wrong step and tumble down that mountain, because
Mhm.
you just might. And if you do, you just might tumble, hit your head, break a leg, something, anything. But will you get back up?
Right.
How will you change what happened?
Mm.
How will you continue?
Right. You know what I'm
Hopefully don't let it
saying?
happen
And that's what
again.
it's about. Because
Mm.
and just to go off of that, we always face things, and we when we face things in the midst of it, sometimes we feel like we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And one thing that I brought up, was even with grief. Even with grief, sometimes you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I can't speak too much on that because you know what I'm saying. I've had a lot of people deal with a lot more grief than I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I've lost some family members. I've lost a lot of old friends and stuff like that. But as far as close knit family, in a way, you know, I can honestly say that God has blessed me because you know, these past 10 years, I could say I haven't lost too many. You know, I know people. I know a lot of people who have lost a lot more people in their family than me. So I have an extent on how I could even touch on that. But what I do know is that your time is still here and you're still alive. And because you're still alive, that means your purpose is not over. Your mission's not over and your purpose isn't finished. It isn't completed. And you are allowed to grieve. You are allowed to be disappointed.
Right.
Yeah.
You are allowed to feel annihilated at some point.
You're allowed to feel.
You're allowed to fail, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's not something, you know, I don't want people to get that twisted,
Right.
you know, because we talk about success a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that you won't fall.
Right.
I will never criticize you for falling.
It's how you cope with the fall.
Right.
Right.
We don't actually I noticed it. Yeah, we don't talk about that. We always, you know, talk about keeping it going, keep, you know, pushing, progressing, but you get to a point where you have to come to your just talk to yourself
Mm-hmm.
and say, yeah, this happened. How do I feel about this?
Yes. Because moments like that build your character.
Right.
Oh, moments like that build your character. Little things, big things, no matter what it is. As a you know, and I know people like, for example, I know of for example, people take, okay, LeBron is the best basketball player of today right now, right? Okay. So he gets a lot of criticism for losing 6 NBA finals. 6 NBA finals is a lot of NBA finals. Don't get me wrong. He's made it as of yesterday, he's about to have his 10th finals appearance. Yeah. That's a lot of finals appearances. And you know, and how I see it is he has failed a lot. He has had a lot of failure.
You got to learn from it.
He's also had a lot of success.
Yeah.
And I feel like him going into the finals, obviously what it looks like right now is that he'd be going against Miami. And with him going against Miami, I expect him to get his butt whooped. Again. Because, you know, I'm for Miami all day.
That's how we Heat fans, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, if it was anybody else but the Heat, then I would root for LeBron.
Yeah, of course. Of course. You know, if it was anybody but Miami. But it is supposed to be Miami,
like
so
Miami.
you know, so it is what it is. But if you were to ask me who, you know, if there was one player of all time who I'd rather go into the finals with as a teammate, it would be him all time. I tell you why. Because the success and the failure, the mixture of the success and the failure, you know what it really feels like to lose. And you really know what it feels like to succeed.
Okay.
You know what it takes to get to the finals 10 times.
It's a lot of times.
It's a lot of times.
Yeah.
You have to really look. In the past decade, he's only missed one NBA Finals. If you realize that, last year, that's because he had a groin injury.
Yeah, and his teammates. Really, it's more of his teammates than him, because I feel like any other team but that team might have made it without him. At least made it to, like, you know what I'm saying, barely made it, but made it. Because that team was real young. The LA team. Because, you know,
But even the team now, if that was to happen to him this
they still
year,
will make it.
No.
I think so, with AD.
So what exactly are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is that LeBron has a very colorful past of failure and success.
Getting up and hitting back.
Okay.
That's real. That's real too, because he has been like made the villain. He was made the hero, the villain, everything just because of some of his personal choices, which is nothing wrong with. It's just a matter of how he did it. Some people didn't like how he did it, but that's still his personal choice.
Yeah, because how I see it is, he went to, when he came here, he lost to Dallas, right? We lost to Dallas, and I hated that loss with all of my heart. I promise you, I did. I still feel some type of way about it today, but we lost.
After that,
but he came back and had the best era of his career, in my opinion.
Right, I think so.
And we won 2 championships right after that. You know what I'm saying? And then he went back to Cleveland, which I also didn't like. But they lost to Golden State.
Well, I respected it.
I respected it because he was going back to Cleveland.
Exactly.
But if anywhere else, that would have, yeah. So when he went to the Cavs, I ain't gonna lie, 2015, I did root against him when it came to Golden State versus Cavs. But he lost that. And he came back 2016. He had one of his best finals runs, and they won that year. It's about getting up, hitting back. It's always a get up, hit back, and it's stuff like that. And when you're seasoned like that, that's why a player like him would get the respect, regardless of how much he's lost.
Yeah.
The way they respect him because of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you will not always be defined by your failure. Yeah. You're going to have haters who will love to define you from your failures and your past. But in truth, that is not what defines you. What defines you is what you get out of. What defines you is what you pull through. Right. What you're able to run, that brick wall that you're able to run through, people are going to remember you for that. Right. At the end of the day, that's what your legacy is. Everybody's not going to feel that way. You already know the haters going to be like, but this happened, and that happened.
What happened and do it better.
The little dark days were Wade, like when during that little era where he was kind of like by himself.
Yeah.
And nobody helped him until LeBron came. Like,
yeah.
It was even hard to sell tickets. And this is during the Great Depression, like during the depression of the economy. The
real estate, yeah. 2008 is when that happened.
Everything was going down. And then like people don't even talk about that time in Wade career because it's really kind of irrelevant compared to all of the positive that he's done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially to bring us our first championship.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, to bring another 2, and convince the best player in our era to come play with him down here.
And to guide him as a leader.
And get another player to compliment him.
Right. And to back away from his ego to let somebody else run the floor for Miami, because Miami has always been his team. Right. So to have to put aside your ego and be like, listen, I want you to be the best player and you to. But the thing is that at the end of the day, he's a 3-time champion.
Right. My boy
and a finals MVP.
Right. I think situations will come up where you can situations that you can change and that you can't change.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Yeah. And go through it.
Right.
Go through it. Just make your way. Just go through that brick wall, man. Because when you're given that challenge and that challenge is in your face and it's staring dead at you and you choose to run through it, that is when your legacy is built. That's when your character starts to be defined.
Right. Yeah, you have the chance to evaluate your situation and focus on what's next.
You know who else that I think about it has a get up and hit back story?
Who?
Jimmy Butler.
Okay,
has get up and hit
for
back
real
story.
For real though.
From childhood.
From childhood, yeah.
Even when in the NBA, to how they run his name through the mud and try to make it seem like he was the black sheep and he's he's the bad teammate.
Right.
And no. At the end of the day, he wanted to be successful. Mm-hmm. He wanted to bring the best out of his players, the best out of his teammates. Even if he what we said before, your intentions. Right. Even if he sit there and call you trash, you some hot garbage. But guess what? He's trying to bring that fight
held you accountable
and see that you could play better than what you playing. So tighten up.
Mm-hmm. And you see how Jimmy look now. We on our way to the final because the Heat franchise was always about everybody holds each other accountable. And not a lot of other franchises have that. So he's going to these other franchises that's, that's different.
Yeah.
And that's why, he was convinced by a couple people who used to play for the Heat and was just like, listen, I know the way that you are, Miami is where you need to be, because Miami is you're
The right
you
type
belong.
Of player. Yeah, y'all the right type of player and the right type of mentality. They have
You
the same type of mentality.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you got to be willing to put everything on the line. You got to be willing to practice how you play. You play how you practice. You put your best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? Don't hurt your head. If you mess up, you got to let it go and go on to the next play.
No matter what happens, no matter where you come from, no matter what you've been through, there's you can beat it no matter what. You can beat it.
You can beat it.
It's all up to you. It's all up to you.
And
the thing about it is you can't beat yourself. You can't beat yourself up.
Right.
Because if you do that, how are you gonna move on?
Right.
Just identify the problem.
Yeah, you can identify it
and see how you can fix it. See how you can practice. Like prime example, how you were saying you was missing the free throws. If that was the one flaw, then that's the one thing you need to work on is your free throws. Go to the now you got to shoot.
Go take 5,000.
Hey, 5,000.
5,000 free throws.
5,000 there. If that's how you got to do it. If that's how many you feel you need to take in order to not miss that when it's game time. Even if you have to have people beating garbage cans around you while you're shooting the free throws. Just to simulate that pressure. You have to be prepared for the game. I remember when I was just looking up coaching because I was thinking about pursuing that because I deal with football and stuff. Nick Saban said one thing that really stuck with me. He was like, in a football game, it's only 5 to 7 plays that dictate the game. If you really think about it, 5 to 7 plays that really dictate the way that the game goes. Whether it's a penalty, whether it's an interception, whether it's a something, anything, a Hail Mary that or a big hit. It's 5 plays that dictate the game. The question is, are you prepared for those 5 plays and to counter the 5 plays in order to win the game?
True. That's really true. And that's why, just to go off based on what you were saying, because, y'all, when I was noting down, getting ready for this episode, that's exactly what I was thinking about. I was thinking about, okay, what do I give, our watchers? What do I give to the people who really is in that space where they need to get up and they need to hit back? What do you give them that they can really walk away with this episode from? And that first thing is to identify what it is that you're going against. Your mindset was different at the time, but people who could have dealt with being hit by the shovel and losing and that not being the first time they lost, and then just to take a loss like that, people will be humiliated and they'll never want to step again. Man, I'm done with this, bro.
Yeah.
Cause what the F? What was that?
Right. People
could have walked away from and never touched step again, but he chose to keep going. That's the difference of people. There will be people who will give up, and then you have people like Jade who gonna keep on and press on and eventually win. There's a difference, and that's why there's people like myself who have respect for Jade the way that I do, because he has that type of mentality to press forward. And you could deal with a bad day. You can have a bad day. Something could happen, and you may walk off for a little while with that in your heart. It may mess with your vibe a little bit, but you know that when you walk into certain environments that you got to let it go. You know what I'm saying? Take that loss, take it with grace. Walk away from it and be like, listen, I'm going to win next time.
Right.
You may still lose. I'm going to win next time.
Let's watch the tape.
For real. Let's watch the tape.
Let's watch the tape.
Let's see what I did
I'm
wrong.
a student of the game, boy. I will watch the tape and I will dissect everything. Everything. I'm talking about everything from the facial expressions to the hand signs to the feet movement, whatever. I will, and everybody, not just me. I'm gonna dissect everything. Everybody. I look at other fraternities. I'm like, look at that. Look at him. Why he moving so lazy? He messed it up. At the end of the day, because I feel like, especially How I teach my brothers, especially the younger brothers, you always perform when you in public, especially in public. You always perform like a camera on you, because you never know when a camera on you.
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna go about this in a direct way, in that as directly as possible, because it's not everybody's situation that what's in front of you, what's stopping you is a person.
Right.
And when it's not a person, sometimes it can feel hard to deal with certain situations, because if it's a person, I'd be like, yo, like, what's good? Because you stopping me from this. And because you're a person, you're a body, it's going, all I feel like I'm gonna have to do is to push you out the way. But not every situation is something. Sometimes it can be a situation. Sometimes it can be an environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to be in a space where you can thrive, but at the same time everybody around, you want to thrive in a good way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, everybody that's around you is selling drugs. They pushing you. They want you to do the same thing, and you know what I'm saying. That environment, sometimes you feel like you can't do something about that. So to go about it in a direct way for anything that you're dealing with, first, like we said, is to identify. You identify what is the thing that what is it that I need to get up from, and what is it that I need to hit back, right?
Mm-hmm.
You then go and say, okay, how do I hit back? I need to get up. Now I know I need to get up. And if I'm mentally here and I understand I need to get up, I'm gonna get up. So we got that solved already. So now it's, how do we hit back from this situation? You plan.
Mm-hmm.
You plan out. So once you plan out and you know what needs to be done, and sometimes we can be in situations and we know what needs to be done from the moment that we
Right.
go through it. But it sounds so hard and it feels so impossible that we don't do it. But you figure out what that is. When you figure out what that is, you declare war on that situation. That's how I go about it. I declare war on any and everything
Right.
that's in my way. I'm going to go to war with you. I may lose some battles. You may win some battles,
Right.
and vice versa. But at the end, I'm going to win the war every time.
You gotta realize sometimes, certain things cannot be fixed.
Certain things can't be
Certain
fixed.
things cannot be fixed, and if that is the case, learn to accept it and make another plan.
And that's what calling on war is. Because if you realize, why do people war? Why do countries war? Because they can't come to a common ground about something.
That's real.
And that common ground can't change. So they go to war.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you go to war, accept that. Accept that for what it is. Run through it though. Run through it. Be like, listen, and it's gonna be something. It may be something that's gonna exist even when you run through it, and it may be a situation where it may move on, and once you run through it, it's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna mess with the next person. But it's your job to make sure that you run through it, and if you want to be, do the good thing and give back and do that in a way where you can also help other people in the future, give them that ability, give them that motivation to go through that same brick wall that you did. Do that. But I'm saying first, it'll be your responsibility to make sure that you run through that brick wall, make your way out of it, declare war on it. Because I'm sorry, I don't play for that. I don't play for that extra stuff. All I want to do is win. You're not going to win every time.
Right.
But all I want to do is win. And when you stop me, when you're trying to stop me from winning, when you stop me from winning, I got you next time. I promise you. And that's how I operate.
Right.
Because there's been certain times, that I could be in a situation where, I may have a competition or something or a game, whatever. And okay, somebody stops me from winning. You can't win every game. You can't win every competition. You can't, But then you see who is winning and you dissect what they do.
Mm.
And you say, you know what? And that's your way of being a student of the game. But when you're trying to get yourself out of certain situations, get yourself out of failure, and make things better for yourself, to get up and hit it back, you got to hit it back hard, knock it out. And that's why I'm saying go at it in a direct way, because if you don't go at it a direct way, just like as a boxer, you boxing, if you don't always go with a strategy to knock somebody out. That's what a lot of people get twisted. When you're boxing, it's not always your goal to get a knockout. It depends on the type of boxer you are, and who you know your opponent to be. That's how it's because it's just you and that person. So you strategize based off of what you think that person's strategy might be. Or, fill them out for the first couple rounds, see how they moving. And then you adjust off of that and use what they're trying to use against you right back against them, and make it flip on them. You get up and you hit back. And when you hit back, for me in life, I go out for the knockout every time. I'm going to knock you out every time. And to this day, I knock it out every time. I'm not saying I always win, but eventually, I'm going to get you.
Right.
Because I will never let something stop me for the long haul, for the long run. And you can never let something stop you for the long run, because there's a purpose for you being here. And once you know what your purpose is, you work towards that purpose. And when you work towards that purpose, there are going to be things that is going to try to stop you from doing that purpose. And when that happens, you have to be able to get up and hit back every time. And you may hit back. And when you hit back, it may not be hard enough. And they may hit right back at you after you hit them back. And next thing you know, you fall again. We've seen it happen time and time again. Just because you get up and hit back once doesn't mean you're going to knock them out right after. I'm not saying that. It could happen every time. It can happen 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, 10 times. That you get up, you swing, boom, knock down again. And it happens over and over and over and over again. But at the same time, you got to, okay, I'm going to get up. Let me do something different this time. Let me go about it different this time. What did I do wrong last time to get knocked down again? And you figure it out. Why? Because you woke up with a purpose. You have a mission on your hands. And within that mission, you are going to always have something, somebody, somewhere, some environment, some habit, something that's going to, even in addiction, something is going to try to stop you from getting to what's for you. And when you get and you find out what that thing is, you grab it and you don't lose hold of it ever until it is out of your way. Because there is no such thing as play. For me, I know where I want to be in life. I know what I want to achieve. I know the impact that I want to put into this world for other people. I understand that as a person, and not only me, but everybody in this room, y'all too, we're here for a purpose of other people. I can't allow myself to be knocked down for a long time, because I know there's people who are depending on being lifted from my voice. Because when I fall, and people come to me for motivation, people come to me for guidance, if I'm in a bad place, I can't give back to you.
Right.
And I understand that about myself. As a leader, I understand that. As a philanthropist, I understand that. As a person who I always have people come to me, hey, I need to sit down with you and run through this. I need to sit down with you to always. But if I'm in a bad place, I can't do that for people. And I don't know what I'm instilling in people for them to take and go and do greatness for others. I don't know what is widespread in for me over time. I don't know the level of impact that God wants me to create on this earth. But I know that there is something that he wants me to do because I've already been doing it. And I will continue to. But in order for me to do it, in order for me to continue to do it, no matter what I go through, I know at some point I got to get myself back up. And I have to always win. And I always have to be an example. That is another thing. And I know that next season we'll be touching up on this because I have that topic. And y'all can tag in on that too. When you have when you have people watching you, when you have like, for example, something as simple as kids, you have kids. When you're a parent, your children are watching you. And when you have people watching you, you want to set a certain example.
Right.
You want to be as close to what you expect them to be as possible when you have kids, right? So when it comes to my viewers, when it comes to our viewers, Renovated Thinking, anybody that's going to follow this brand, anybody that will follow this brand in the future, I expect for this brand to touch you in a way that makes you go out and do better.
Right.
That's why it is important for me every day to wake up and do better. It's important for Ray to wake up every day and do better. It's important for you to wake up every day and do better. It is your responsibility, because if we're here expecting to give people something for them to go out and do better, we got to make sure we do better. If we telling people that they need to get up and hit back, that mean that us, we got to do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got to practice what we preach.
Yes, indeed.
So that's what I'm about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we all have to be about. And that's what I expect you to be about. Because when you do that for yourself, I'm giving what I'm giving to you. And then when you go ahead and you instill that into yourself and you add that into your character, and the people around you, I don't know who the people around you are, but when they see that, when they see you instill yourself with those characteristics, they're going to want to follow. Therefore, by that, guess what? I done touched somebody by extension. I may have not even you may have never watched this video, right? But I touched you by extension because I impacted somebody who impacted somebody who impacted you.
Right.
Facts.
Never know. So you have got to press forward in your situation. If you living in the hood, if you catching yourself in a bad situation, I don't care if you got misdemeanors, if you got felonies, and I don't care if you locked up right now and you ain't getting out in the next 5 years. I don't care what I don't care what your situation is, man.
You can always grow and get better.
You can always grow.
Never know.
You can always change your situation. Always.
Take from it.
Or you get up, hit back, never quit. And you should be good at all times, man. You should be good at all times. That's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
that's what that is. That's what that is.
I got a little poem. That we learned.
We got a poem.
Yeah, a little poem. It's called Don't
We got
Quit.
poetry.
No,
okay.
it's just a little stanza, you feel me? When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, and the path you're treading seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, when you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when life cares and to press you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. All right?
Yep. Why did you have that Did you just do that out of nowhere? Did you plan to
just a
do
little
that? You
something.
had to
Just a
plan to
little
do that. 'Cause
Something.
that had to be that had to be here for this episode.
Nah,
You know
all,
what I'm
all,
saying?
all my Greek folks know that's something that we learn from
Mm.
you during your time becoming part of the organization. You learn different information to help motivate you along your life journey. That's what a process is supposed to be. You know,
Right.
everyone talks so negative about being online and being part of a process, but they don't know the full purpose of a process or what's the purpose of a. You get what I'm saying? Like it
Mhm.
only gets the bad light.
Yeah.
Like Burning Sands, for example. If you've seen that movie, they only show 90% of the negative things that happen during the process.
Right.
They don't show the brotherhood. They don't show the camaraderie. They don't show you stand up 3-4 in the morning with your LBs, learning about each other, learning about their mother, learning about their family, learning about different things that make that person tick. You feel me?
Mhm.
Like you learn more things about your LBs than sometimes your own blood.
No, for real.
So yeah, that's just a poem we call "Don't Quit." You know that we learn.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's what it's about. Never quit. Because if you quit,
Right.
like you'll never know.
You only quit yourself.
Right.
Quit on
You'll
yourself.
never
Right
know.
That's
back.
it.
You see my boy C Breezy got his little clothing line.
Mm,
Shout out to C Breezy, man. Black Pyramid is nice.
that's
Good
dope.
quality too.
So yeah.
Nah,
So
this-
y'all
Today
can.
was good.
Yeah.
Today was nice.
Today was good, man.
So y'all remember now, you gonna fall. Just get up and hit back, all right? We got you. Call us. Shit, we'll jump in. What's up? We got your back.
For real. Shoot, I'll hit back for you if I can. Trust me.
Right.
So yeah. So
Love
we
it.
here. We here. We gonna be back again next week, as always. We appreciate y'all. Is there anything else y'all want to add before we?
It was a good show.
It was a good
was a
show,
good
like you
show.
said again. All right. So we gonna be back. We had a good episode. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
Yeah.
Share it with the world, share it with the people. You never know what this does for people. So definitely send this out. All right.
Right.
Uh
And at the end of the day, just remember, even if you don't believe in you, we believe in you.
yep.
All right. Be safe, y'all.
Definitely. All right, man. Peace out.